What's up, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read your tarot cards. That one's popping out. We're going to start with an oracle card. Let's get one more. Guys, these are general messages here on YouTube. That means not everything I say will resonate with you every single week. I welcome you to come into the readings with an open heart and an open mind. It's so funny. This card has come up on every reading. If it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't resonate, release those messages. Assume they're going out to someone else. It may resonate for you in the future as well. So keep an open mind. All right. Breathe in bliss. Exhale bullshit, right? If this message is bullshit to you, if it doesn't make sense, Sag, exhale and move on, right? I'm kidding. I hope there's lots of wisdom in here for you. That's my aim. That's my goal. So then it says, turn criticism into kindness. Turn lemons into lessons. This card came out in a lot of the water sign readings, especially Pisces and Scorpio. Sorry, the lighting is not great here. I got to figure that out. So yeah, rather than walking away from a situation feeling slighted or bitter, try and dig a little bit deeper into why you're feeling that way. And ask questions about yourself, not about the external factors or people involved. Why is it agitating you? Why is it triggering you? Why is it making you feel a certain kind of way? Can you turn that into kindness? And then last but not least, slow down and rest. You need it. So I'm not going to lie, this week, the energy has been like a little bit stifled. It seems like people are sort of struggling with things. But that's what I'm here for, right? Let's get you some wisdom and high vibing messages to help you through this. And I'm not necessarily casting a shadow on this yet. We'll totally see what tarot has to say, but just based on the oracle cards alone, we gotta operate in a mindset that is more kind and empathetic to those around you, and really letting go and releasing any sense of grudge or even guilt for yourself. But can't we all just get along? That's the message this week. Well, let me tell you. Let's see. Split the deck here. All right. So there is a victory here. There's an ending. 10 of Swords, 10 of Needles in this deck. 5 of Pentacles. And the Hermit. And the Death card. All right, so there is an ending. For those who are new to tarot, the Death card does not indicate literal death. It's frequently associated with Scorpio. More than anything, it has to do with transforming a situation. So maybe you're making amends with someone. Maybe you're reaching out to someone who you had an odd exchange of words with, and, you reconcile, essentially. I would say don't expect miracles overnight, and I hate to say don't, but ultimately I would encourage you to, before you rush in to fix it, make sure you're fixing it for the right reasons. You're not just slapping a Band-Aid on it because, me and my coworker are put on this assignment together, but, there's been bad blood, so I just have to go in and apologize. Well, don't apologize if you don't really mean it. And I do honestly stand by that, because I think those things catch up with you, not necessarily in a karmic way, but it's like if you're just trying to brush past the heavy stuff that isn't necessarily fun to deal with, you are missing or not experiencing the wisdom that comes out of those moments. So I'm not saying, fester in the bad energy. I'm saying spend time thinking about what triggered that and heal yourself first. So that way when you're going to heal a connection or a relationship, it's authentic. You're coming at it from a very pure, wholesome place versus just going through the motions, doing whatever is PC or doing what, I'm always thinking like office politics, that kind of thing. I don't know. I think there could be a sweetness here, but right now something has gone sour in a relationship. Ooh, how interesting. There was a card hidden underneath. I love when that happens. So there is a victory with the 8 of Pentacles. So 8 of Pentacles is frequently an apprenticeship, intern, someone who's very dedicated to their craft. It's becoming the master of your craft, the master of your skill, but it does indicate there is a level of student or a level of needing to learn more, someone who doesn't necessarily have the upper hand, but they're there and they're trying. And I think that's exactly what this is. Interesting how I said the upper hand. Do you see how one is on top? There could be an unfair power dynamic here, or you might be thinking that, I don't know, it could be something, why did they get the raise? Why didn't I? I've been there longer, X amount of things that I don't know. There just may be a source of, ooh, that's a bitter pill to swallow. But ultimately, I don't think it's worth severing ties or kind of spewing bad blood or however you want to say it in this person's direction. So let's see. I just sense this is going to pan out. I think this is going to work itself out. I don't think this is like abandoned ship, but let me read these for a second. So this does feel like Sagittarius, and feel free to reverse the roles, but I do think for most of you, this is a message about you. So it feels like you were on some sort of job or assignment with someone, and your teamwork garnered some sort of attention or recognition. Unfortunately, it's almost like they may have taken credit for the work you did, or it could have been very harmless and unintentional that you guys, whatever, writer and illustrator, released something together and all the magazine articles and internet articles and whatever are only attributing one name to the project. And so you're feeling slighted. Understandable, right? Your feelings are valid in that sense. I'm not arguing against it. But I think there is more to be seen than just, kicking rocks. Like, oh, shucks, it's never my turn. I think universe is trying to say, is this really worth ending a friendship over? Because you feel like very hurt. You feel very wounded. And for some of you, maybe this person was shady. I don't have the whole story here. But whatever this relationship, even if it is romantic, it does go through like a dip. It's like there was so much potential. Like there was a lot of effort being put in that seemed like an assured victory, and then whoop, not so much. Something happened that you may have even gone to the extreme of ending it or having very harsh words or what is that expression? Ripping someone a new one, right? Do you understand what I mean? Or this is just how you felt, like they backstabbed you, quite literally is usually what that Ten of Swords is. I don't hate this though, because I almost see this as pins in a pin cushion. So yes, you could look at it as like the voodoo doll metaphor. Don't do that, Sag. Don't be part of that. I'm not catering to those people on my channel. No black magic, no voodoo stuff. Out. Anyway, if you're able to look beyond that, I do like that it's like the pin cushion because it indicates things can be sewn back together. This could be stitched back together. We could make this work, but I would argue that there was a lot of growing tension between you guys, and it was almost like someone needed to address the elephant in the room. I just get the idea that as much as you were able to work together, there was something about this person or the operation, the way things were done, that it was kind of nagging at you. It was starting to push your buttons. And I think part of you was just like, I'm just going to bite my lip and work through it because what we could achieve together is so great, it's not worth bringing up drama. Unfortunately, it's almost like this was going to rip open anyway. Whatever is in this giant bag, it's like these two little people can't possibly maintain it together. Maybe you were overloaded with work. There was like a workload that the two of you just couldn't handle. You were both trying to, save face and be like, yep, we got this. Well, something ended that I would argue, I think it was destined, because you were meant to approach this person or this situation differently with whatever was serving or blocking you originally. Looking at the obstacles and remixing the formula, new ingredients, or doing it in a different way where there is success. But now you're kind of at the awkward stage, and this is the message that has come up for almost every sign I've done so far, is like, well, who breaks the ice first? This may have gone to some extreme where somebody up and quit the project or left the job or moved out, whatever it is. But I think both people are feeling a sense of hardship and loss because of the relationship that was lost. Because here's the thing, more or less, somebody involved in this project, collaboration, did reap the reward or the success, the recognition. That's really what Six of Wands is. So that person, in a sense, they're content in that, but I do think that I'm almost getting the idea that they feel like it's very unfair that you're mad at them when, for some of you, it couldn't have been helped. It wasn't that they were gunning to take credit for your work. It's that just naturally when it was released to the public, everyone was like, oh, did you hear about so-and-so's project? And Sagittarius is like, well, what about me? For some of you, it was just the way things worked out. Not all of you, you can look at this as, well, they were conspiring against me. This was malicious. I think some of you may be jumping to that conclusion, and I think that's why a lot of you are being asked to like slow down and really, really dissect these thoughts. Are we jumping to conclusions too soon? Is it possible that this person was put in a very uncomfortable or tricky situation and maybe they made a decision and they regret it because they didn't realize it was going to break the tie of the friendship, that you guys would no longer speak or work together? The thing is, one, if not, I think it's both of you, and this may involve a Virgo, by the way, or a Leo. I think one or both of you are still peeking in on each other. It's like the Hermit is alone, the Hermit is single, and yet he so badly wants to be a part of this project or whatever he's looking back in on. I don't know why, just my gut reaction. I think because you have a lot of positive cards indicating 2. I think this is going to come back together. Certainly you have free will. It doesn't have to. But it's like you guys have the same drive. You have the same motivation. There was a mutual interest that equally got you guys excited to show up every day and put work into that. I think you guys, I say this respectfully, I don't mean to offend. I feel like some of you took on more than you could handle. And that in itself, like had you nipped it in the bud, it would have saved a lot of, I don't know what the word is. It would have saved a lot of hassle later on because it was just like it was building and it was building and it was building and it had to be released. And when I'm talking more in metaphor about the emotions or again, like the drama, like this was not a perfect relationship, but if we were to actually analyze it and dissect it, we could stitch it back together and make it work better. Like I'm almost getting Frankenstein it back together. So if this indeed was some sort of creative collaboration, maybe there is some metaphor there about using some of this and some of that and bringing it together versus his vision and I'm just carrying out the work or her this and like it, instead of making it like a him, her, or whatever the gender, that's not a thing, but like an us, them or whatever. It's like very Sagittarian, like bringing the group together because there's a collective desire. This may involve a Cancer. This may involve something working in an auto body shop or something regarding a car. There could have been, I don't know, somebody won a car. No, I don't know what that is, but something about that instantly. There was something about a vehicle. Was there an argument about a vehicle or the company car or something like that? I do think that whole phrase about dissecting it, really tearing it apart or analyzing the thoughts and understanding, well, what is the absolute truth of the matter and where am I maybe, Sagittarius, exaggerating the truth because I'm feeling kind of victimized. You know, this person hurt me. I trusted this person. They were my friend. And how dare they take credit for my work when they know I work just as hard. I understand that that's what you're feeling. And again, I'm not here to say you're wrong. I'm only here to say, really consider all the truth of that narrative. Is that something you're telling yourself to justify the feelings that you're feeling rather than being like, you know what? These feelings are actually stemming from insecurity because I feel like their ideas were better and I wanted validation that mine were just as good. And maybe you didn't get it that time, right? That's life. Sometimes that's going to happen. I'm really, thank you. I was gonna say, I really want to pull these. They're not coming out. I really want to say that like if you muster up the strength and energy to really address where these thoughts are coming from, I don't think this is an ending. Though I would argue, I think some of you very much think it is an ending, right? With this card. What's under the Death card? The Knight of Pentacles. Someone makes an offer. So I could read this 2 ways, Sagittarius. Okay, and I'm going to read it this way too. If some of you, this was a layoff or something where ultimately they chose someone else over you, if you were gunning for the same position or whatever this is, I'm even going to say competition in dating, right? If ultimately you were the one who got rejected and you were gunning for it, you were hoping to get the job, to get the attention of your suitor or whatever, I would say to you, then it was a blessing that this was brought to an end so that universe could give you what you really needed. Not necessarily what you wanted, which by the way, this is a good offer. You will want it. But because you can't see any physical evidence that there's another romantic prospect or another job, there is like this, oh my God, my life is over. How could this happen? There's a little drama. I'm not going to lie. This got a little drama. I'm not beating you up. I'm not judging you. I'm never here to do that. But I will say, if you are hoping to usher in this new chapter, would there be value in sort of dissecting what went down and understanding maybe things you could have done differently? I'm not really a person to promote living in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Ultimately, things transpired the way they did. And I actually do think, I don't know, I think there's going to be like an awakening between the two of you. But someone's got to either check the ego or come forward with an apology. It's one or the other or possibly both. I see you both, and I could see this as romantic or something in your business career, whatever it is. I can totally see it both ways, changing some small details, but I feel like these people are both looking at each other. It's almost like, I know this is a silly metaphor, but it's like this person's riding the parade and getting all the attention, but it doesn't feel as good without having their co-pilot with them to share the experience. So I do think this person isn't showing it, but I do think they are riddled with guilt, essentially, that yeah, they did get the credit this time. And for some of you, it was the way things happened. It wasn't necessarily their intention or their fault. And so this is like the stages of grief, right? Part of you, I see you changing your mind and fluctuating on, well, they're an asshole and how could they do this to me? And then other days, but you know what? Like they kind of deserve it. But then I also see you beating yourself up, but I'll never be good enough. I wouldn't do that. I think it's great to be humble and acknowledge the lessons the universe is trying to teach you, but I just sense that like there's something coming back where this situation is going to benefit you in the long run. But again, you're not seeing the physical evidence of that to support that. So you're like, well, where? How is this going to work out good for me? Because you have another offer coming to you. Maybe it's a completely different person. Maybe it's a completely different fire sign. Maybe it's something or someone else who lights your fire. Aces are all about newness. Oh, and look, Sagittarius, there's your 10 of Cups. Your fairy tale ending, your Cinderella story. That's what I mean. You are in the thick of this situation and it hasn't all resolved. Ace of Cups can be an apology with the King of Cups. Yeah, you have awesome cards. The further down I dig in this. Yeah, the story is not over yet. I'm struggling with which direction to go, so I'm just going to pull cards on both. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm one tarot reader, right? But if Sagittarius wants to reconcile and reunite in this team dynamic or this collaboration, what do the cards say about that? And this is a very specific tarot reading, possibly involving a Scorpio or a Virgo. Those are the two major arcana I have, but it could be any sign, guys. You know that. Possibilities of reconciliation. Soulmates of the past, anxiety, and the walls are up. No one wants to break the ice to end this cycle, but what both of you are not realizing is that by putting the walls up, you are delaying the healing that for a lot of you, it's meant to come in. This card says it all to me. The visual of this is like, yeah, I'm sorry too. You reach out a hand, turn criticism into kindness. What is stifling your energy and making you feel just yuck inside, it's holding on to resentment or sorrow, feeling like your world is turned upside down and you lost so much. I know it's hard when you're in the thick of it, but in the grand scheme of things, this is not as big a deal as you think it is. And the reason I'm saying that, Sag, is because my tarot cards are saying, no, this is good because see what's actually coming into Sag now. You had to go through this. And I'm not saying it's easy. Clearly it isn't. It's difficult. But you're going to be all the wiser for it. Reconciliation, I mean, this is a soulmate card. Again, this is tricky for me though, because there could be one person and it might be you, depending on what actually went down. Like if this was a third party situation and someone cheated on you, understandably, some of you are like, oh, fuck no, right? Like you're never going back. And that's why these cards are coming up. For others of you, this is just saying you finished out a cycle, a karmic lesson about this relationship, but it doesn't mean that if you really wanted to go back to them, I think you could fix it. But I just get the impression both of you are very, again, just hesitant to break the ice. Who's going to say what first? I think especially if there was a person who said something that they shouldn't have said, the apology needs to come in. And I'm not going to lie, Sagittarius, like I know a lot of Sagittarians in my life. They're beautiful people, but they do not like to admit fault. They do not like to say that they are sorry. I would say that's true about a lot of fire signs. And I know I'm casting a wild stereotype, but again, when we can kind of dissect this and be like, excuse me, well, am I the problem or am I just contributing to it rather than being like, it's them, they did this, they did that. Okay, well, what about you? You know, it was 50-50 somewhere along the way, right? You were both working on this together. So I'm just saying it would be good to consider things you may do differently next time. Right now, because these are weekly readings, I don't see you guys reconciling in the next couple weeks. I think you guys, and maybe that's good. Maybe it's just like slow down, start to see the forest from the trees, give yourself like a little buffer time where you're not, texting each other and blowing up the phone to be like, how could you, like let's just let it go, right? Then possibly, I don't know. The more I see these cards, I'm not saying it's impossible. I think most of you will choose to never look back. That's the vibe I get. So for my cross watchers, I think that says a lot too. But you've had 10 of Swords twice and the Death card. I don't think someone is in this the way the other one is. One person wants this reconciliation much more. And to be honest, it might be the person who ended up the victor. And that in itself is going to make them having to carry this karmic lesson or this burden around in the future, because ultimately they learn something too. You can't just take credit for people's work. You have to be a good team player. And I think this person definitely did a misstep. There's something they should have done differently as well. Ultimately, this serves you guys as lessons. So then let's read for whatever it is, new love, new jobs, new opportunities. I can already tell you, I think that's where the universe is steering you. Because maybe by trying to force this back together, it's defeating the purpose of why it happened entirely. Maybe this trial separation is actually exactly what you guys needed. And so this was the final straw. There's a better word I'm looking for. But essentially, universe orchestrated this for this collaboration to essentially disassemble, to crumble, or however you want to say it. Because maybe you guys weren't meant to work together, I don't know, for some divinely guided reason, which I'm not even sure about. Did I shuffle that back in? I was looking for that earlier. Tell me about the Scorpio. What's the deal with the Scorpio? They appear cold as ice, but if you break the ice, they're warm and fuzzy. I'm not sure I said that about an Aquarius, but King of Swords is sometimes, this could be about a male air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I don't know, 10 of Cups says to me this is fixable, but it had to go through this transformation. That's what we started this reading saying as. The Death card, something about this was meant to transform. Transform for the better, or transform in terms of making terms with, or making friends with the idea that, oh no, this is really over. If it's backstabbing, then yeah, no need for drama, see you later. Peace out. Tell me about new love. Ooh, I do see a divine pairing, air signs. So Sag, do you have a lot of air in your chart? Does that mean anything to you? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There's potential. Okay, it could be divorce as well. Some of you may be going through a divorce, especially with an air sign. I don't know, or maybe it's the other way around. I can't really tell. 10 of Cups and the divine pairing. It could be marriage or the ending of one. So I guess you know what situation you're in. Tell me about new opportunities, whether it's love or career stuff. New opportunities for Sagittarius. Give yourself a break first. Don't heal your problems by rushing into other situations to not have to deal with them or face them. I see you guys, I'm sorry, I don't mean to beat you up, but running from your problems is not going to fix this. It's actually going to compound it and make it a lot worse. The way this is, that was the lesson in this. Not listening to your intuition and feeling that oh, I want to say something, but it's almost out of, not people pleasing, but avoiding confrontation or drama. You kept your mouth shut, when in reality, I think universe was trying to say, no, you need to advocate for yourself. I think universe is saying, yeah, you went through something major, so rest. Just take a breath before you start, jumping on the dating apps, or before you start throwing out applications to any fucking thing online. It's well, do you actually want to work there? I get it. We don't always have the luxury of being no, I'm just going to take a few months off of work. But I mean, can you? If you can afford to, I think that's exactly what the universe is saying. You need to rest. You need to rest. There's just something about getting your head unclouded, Piscean energy, Neptune energy. You may have had a really difficult ending with a Pisces, and it's eating away at you. Yeah, there could have been fidelity issues with a Pisces. You need to heal yourself. That's you. What you're moving on to essentially after this Six of Swords is finding peace of mind and resolution internally. It has nothing to do with the external, hanging out with friends or dating new people. Therapy by all means, absolutely. Find healthy outlets, but it's not replacing one person with another. It's not replacing that void of a job with substance abuse to fill that void because you don't want to feel the feelings. There's just slow down and rest. Take all the time you need. Otherwise, it's you're going to burn the candle at both ends. When you take some time to yourself, the illusion of what you were seeing is going to be revealed to you. So illusion in terms of projecting negative things onto a situation where really it wasn't that, but at the time you felt slighted. Others of you, you're going to look back and be you know what? They really weren't good to me. Maybe I was wearing rose-tinted glasses. Maybe Oh, totally. 500 Days of Summer, right? When he plays, have you guys seen that movie? He plays it back in his head and he notices all the time she actually turned away when he went to cuddle her. Like that type of you get clarity on something that was causing you confusion before when you spend some time, a lot of time, I would argue, doing some decluttering of your thoughts that are helpful. And again, thoughts that maybe you've been holding on to just out of familiarity. You need to like clean house. You need to declutter, but more like your body is your temple. You need to like declutter your I'm just going to keep doing this and hope you guys know what I'm saying. I'm just going to start dancing. I don't know. Yeah, then a new offer comes your way and it's something tangible. It's something you could build on. Again, it might be with an air sign. It could be, maybe it's an apology. I don't know if it's an apology. It might be. But something with an air sign is coming in. Gemini, Libra, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or possibly a Scorpio. You do have a lot of scorpionic energy kind of lingering, which again could also, in metaphor, I'm losing my words, be a transformation. Total transformation. Decluttering your life one person at a time, one project, one job, whatever isn't serving you, you're being aligned to something greater. Remember that, Sagittarius. So even when you're at the lowest of lows, it can only get better from there. Much better from there, okay? All right. Did I call you Scorpio? If I did, I'm sorry. It's because Scorpio energy. You probably have some Scorpio in your chart, maybe. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if this reading helped you guys. Thanks for joining me here on my channel. I truly appreciate you guys. Remember to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. That would be awesome, and I would appreciate it. Other than that, I will see you next Tuesday for more tarot. Bye, Sagittarius.